Hey cat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen, and as always I am Jonni Cooks, and today we'll be cooking from this Overwatch official cookbook. Today we'll be making Sombra's Molletes, Reaper's chili con queso, and to wash it all down we're also going to make McCree's Deadeye. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Deadeye. I took 4 years of English and Spanish in high school and basically made straight A's, and I can still barely hold a conversation in either language. I'll start with McCree's Deadeye because it needs time to chill. To begin that, we're just going to need 2 cups of water, and then I'll put it on the stove to boil. While we're waiting for the water to come to a boil, I'm just going to measure out my tea. We need 4 tea bags, but since I don't have tea bags, just loose leaf tea, I'll measure about 2 grams per bag, so we need a total of 8 grams. I'm also going to measure out a half cup of sugar. So our water is boiling here, and I'm going to add the half cup of sugar and just stir it up a bit. And then we're going to add our black tea bags. Make sure to turn the burner off. I'm just going to give it a quick stir so it gets in there, and then I'll strain it out later. It's been steeping for about 5 minutes, so I'm just going to strain it and throw it in the fridge for about an hour. We're going to start our molletes by grating up some Oaxaca cheese, about half a cup. So I do have a box grater here. It's pretty small, but it'll do for what we have. When I grate, I like to put it down on the side like this, so it's a little bit easier to grate. And there's roughly half a cup. For the rest of the ingredients for the molletes, we have the Pico de Gallo. If you don't have a store that sells pico already made, you can always make your own. There's plenty of recipes online. We have 1 avocado. We have some Bolillo Rolls. This is kind of like a Mexican baguette. We also have some canned refried beans and a pound of chorizo sausage. And we also have 3 tablespoons of butter, which I'm going to cut here. Okay, so I'm just going to use this serrated knife to cut 3 tablespoons here. It should be marked for you, so just look for the marking and just cut where it says. Just going to open this can of beans. It doesn't say how much to use, but I assume just enough to cover up the bread. And it wants us to cut the bread in half. My knife has a little butter on it, but that's okay because we're going to spread the butter on here anyways. And I'm going to leave our avocado whole for now. I don't want it to oxidize and turn brown. So we have all of our ingredients for our molletes ready. Next, we're going to prep our chili con queso vegetables. So we have an onion, we have some garlic, and 1 jalapeno. So we're going to need to dice this onion up. I'm going to cut off the end and then cut it in half right through the little stem here. I'm going to peel off the first layer because we don't want that. So we're just going to cut this right in the middle here, palms flat, and we're going to do nice strips here, not all the way through. And then we're just going to cut through and get rid of the stem. We have our onions here. My eyes are getting a little irritated, but that's okay. I'm gonna wash my eyes out in a bit. We're gonna put all these onions in the bowl here. We have our diced onions. I'm going to wash my eyes because I know you can't see my eyes right now, but they are burning up. All right, now that I'm done crying about how hard it is to make YouTube videos, I'm gonna get about 4 cloves of garlic here. I'm just gonna use my knife to coax them out a little bit. And we just need to mince up 4 cloves. All right, I'm just gonna smash it, and then I'm gonna peel it. I'm gonna cut it one way and then cut it another. And I'm gonna put that in the bowl here by itself. Last, we're gonna cut up our jalapeno and dice it up. It does say to remove the seeds, but I'm gonna keep them in because I actually like the heat a little bit. So I'm just gonna cut it there and cut it in half. I will remove the insides. Definitely be careful not to touch your eyes or anything sensitive. They do burn if you do. So I'm just gonna cut these into strips. I'm gonna line them up and just give them a quick chop. All is gonna go in the bowl. Next, we're gonna grate up our cheeses for our queso. 4 ounces of pepper jack and 4 ounces of sharp cheddar. I'm gonna use the same grater because cheese. All right, and that's 4 ounces of cheddar. All right, and that's about 4 ounces of that cheese. We have 3 tablespoons of butter. All right, so we just need 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And a little 2 cups of our dairy here. And then we have our fire roasted tomatoes here. It's already diced and we just need half a cup. All right, it's about half a cup. I'm gonna leave the juices in it. It doesn't say to drain it or anything. I'm gonna run through the ingredients real quick so we know we have everything for sure. So we have 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We have 4 ounces of sharp cheddar and 4 ounces of pepper jack cheese. We have 1 yellow onion diced up. We have 4 garlic cloves minced. We have 1 jalapeno, de-seeded if you don't want it to be spicy. We also have some fire roasted tomatoes here. And then we're also gonna have a cup of heavy cream and a cup of milk. And we have some cumin and some salt. I'm gonna take all of these ingredients and put them next to the stove so I have everything within arm's reach when I'm cooking. To start off the chili con queso, we're gonna turn on the heat on medium. I'm gonna let the pan get a little warm. We're gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna let the butter melt. All right, now that the butter's melted, we're gonna add in our onions, our garlic, and our jalapenos. And we're just gonna cook them until these onions get a little translucent. Make sure you stir occasionally so nothing burns at the bottom. So it's been about 5 minutes and these onions are sweating up a storm. So we're gonna add in our 3 tablespoons of flour. And we're just gonna mix that in. I guess this adds the roux portion of a queso. It just thickens up the sauce when we add in our dairy. So the flour has been absorbed by the butter. I'm just gonna cook it a little bit longer because I don't want that raw flour taste in here. And from here, we're just gonna slowly pour in our dairy. Just gonna do a little bit at a time so everything gets incorporated nicely so there's no chunks of flour anywhere. I've been whistling for about 2 to 3 minutes and it's getting pretty thick. I'm gonna let it thicken a little further and then I'll take it off the heat. But it is pretty thick. And we're gonna throw in all of our cheeses. And it should melt since it's still really hot. Add in 1/4 teaspoon of our cumin and salt. And as you can see here, it's nice and cheesy. We're gonna throw in these fire roasted tomatoes. All right, and there you have it. We have Reaper's chili con queso right here. For our molletes, we're going to spread the butter on this bread here that I cut in half. So it's just gonna be 1/2 tablespoon for each bread. This is room temperature butter, so it spreads easily. If you have cold temp butter, it's not gonna work. We've buttered all of our bread. I'm gonna preheat the broiler and stick it under there. So our tiny toaster oven's ready. I'm gonna broil these till they're nice and crispy. Our first batch is looking pretty good. Looks fine. Next, we'll take the refried beans out of the can and mash it up so it's spreadable. I have these 3 finished and I'm gonna set them aside since our tea has been chilling for about an hour. I'm gonna need 2 glasses and then I'm gonna pour half into each one. And then I'm gonna pour 2 ounces of bourbon into one and I'll leave the other one untouched. I'll just need to add some ice and maybe a lemon wedge, and there we have McCree's Deadeye. So my pan is preheating here. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of oil and wait for that to get hot. All right, now that our pan is preheated, I'm gonna try a little tester and see if it's ready. Sizzle sounds are good, so I'm gonna throw the rest of these in here and we're just gonna break them up. So the chorizo's been cooking for about 5 minutes and it looks like it's ready. I'm going to drain it. Just gonna put it into the strainer real quick. Next, I'm going to cut an avocado. First, I'll cut around the seed, then I'll twist it open. I'll hit the seed with a knife and then pull it out. To scoop out the flesh, we'll use a spoon and then I'll slice it up. We have our meat drained here. Take a little bit and pile it on top. We're going to top it off with the Oaxaca cheese that we had grated earlier. All right, and I'm just gonna throw it under the broiler real quick. After the cheese melts, the last thing we're gonna do is put on our pico and our sliced avocado. And there you have it. We have Sombra's molletes, we have Reaper's chili con queso, and we also have McCree's Deadeye.
Yeah, just dip it a little bit. That's okay. Mẹ không like thôi. Chứ không phải là ăn nó bị sao. Have alcohol?
Yeah, you try it, see what it tastes like. Nope, no alcohol.
So, xíu thì okay.
Alcohol, sorry.
We have molletes, the chorizo, bread, refried beans, and then we just have a regular queso. I bought some tortilla chips. So we have.
All right, you want to try? Wow, you cut some.
Yes.
It's a little messy, so you.
All right, I'm just gonna eat it. That's good. Flavor in there.
That's very good.
I like that. And some chips and queso.
Avocado is good.
Good.
Add a cheese, yeah?
Yeah.
Just try
This is the
it.
sandwich here. Looks pretty close, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. Tastes really awesome. The
But
Pico de Gallo stuff with jalapeno in here is really good. That one's good. I like both. Tastes different. The one with the alcohol is less sweet.
very good dinner here.
Next time, you eat all of it or you save it?
No, I can eat it.
So it has jalapeno in there, but it's not hot. But it's not spicy.
Well, I feel like this queso needs a lot more salt.
What, this cheese?
Yeah.
You need avocado? You know how
I
to
don't
make
think
avocado?
Hold on. I think it's Thailand lovely.
Yep.
How about you, Yuki?
Avocado.
Gee, this thing tastes ngon. Very good.
Thanks, Johnny. Cheers.
Right. Overall, I think everything turned out pretty well according to the recipes. The only thing I might have changed would be the seasoning levels on everything. It's hard not to season and taste the food as you're cooking it, but I really wanted to try to follow the recipe as closely as I can so you can see how it turns out and maybe make your own modifications to the recipe. This was my second video ever recorded, so the quality and pacing is kinda meh, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless, and maybe give it a try. I'll be back next week with some different recipes, probably from Minecraft, so I hope I'll see you then.